I think one of the biggest things that you kind of realize when you get older, and that I wish I was at least taught, right, was nobody cares about you. you know, nobody really cares about your struggle. Nobody's gonna come save you, and it doesn't matter how much you cry over it. It doesn't matter how many times you yell like, I need help. You're always gonna be alone. Nobody's ever gonna care. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you realize life isn't what people make it, you know? And the people who say life's gonna, life's amazing, life's gonna do this or that, they're lying because they never been in your shoes. They were never alone. Never. They were never in a position where they had nobody, where nobody cared about them. They were never the people that, didn't have anyone. They were always picked first in gym class. They always got asked to hang out. They always got invited to those birthday parties when they were younger, right? And nobody understands the pain you feel when you're alone. Because it's not as simple as, oh, I just, I went through this and that, or I was a little bit alone. It's more than that. It's, you learn to be on your own. And you learn not to trust anybody, because the more you trust people, the easier it is to get hurt. And if you allow yourself to get close with people, if you allow yourself to get hurt over and over, you're never gonna you expect something that you never got. You make your expectations this high in life without realizing that you never got that in life. Why would you ever expect anything different? Do you expect different because people, what makes you expect different? What makes you have these expectations where life's going to get better? Everybody's the same. People have their own wants and needs out of somebody. And if they don't get that from you, they don't care. And even if they do get those expectations, right, or their needs or the wants they want, they don't care about how you really feel. You can explain how bad you feel all the time, but in the end, they don't really care. You'll always be the bad person to them. You'll always be that bad person to them. And people don't really grasp that idea anymore. People don't grasp the fact that you're always the villain. You're always the bad person in someone's story, right? And people want to act like, life is, something that changes, and it's not, man. You really think it is? It's not. It's not, life isn't this, like, all this, all these funs and games. It's not like that. Who cares? Nobody cares about you. And when you learn to be alone, you learn that life gets better when you're alone. You're safer when you're alone. And it's easy to recognize that. It's easy to understand that when you're alone, when you just when you when you just let your life be yours and you don't fight it anymore, life becomes much more realistic. And I'm not going to tell you life gets better. I'll tell you life gets more realistic, though. Life will always be more realistic. Because, you know, the type of person you are, right? Type of person you are that you were when you were younger, you'll always be that type of person, you know? I was never a super popular kid. I was a weirdo, right? I was that weird kid that nobody really wanted to talk to. And I'll always be that type of person. And the quicker you learn that, the quicker you realize that the quicker you learn that that is how life ends up being, the quicker you'll understand that these people, these folks, they ain't your friends. They never will be. They never will be, and they never were. And people don't like to admit this. They wanna act blind. They wanna think that, oh, they're sewing out for me. There's nobody for you. If you never found anybody throughout your whole entire life, who's to say there's gonna be another person? And then those same people in your life, they're gonna act like, you know, they're gonna be wondering, oh, why are you so lonely? Why you say to yourself? Because that's how I grew up. That's what kept me safe. And I'll never explain my feelings to anybody because, you know, you're bleeding in front of a shark. That's what it is. You are putting blood in open water. That is exactly what you're doing when you do that. Why would I ever put myself in that position? I never will. That's not me. That's not how my life goes. And I'm never going to let somebody change me. I'm not going to let somebody hurt me again. Why would I let somebody hurt me? For what? So they can use me? You know? And those same people, they manipulate. They manipulate you all the time. You know, they'll push you to your breaking point. And the moment you start reacting, you hit that breaking point, they use that to say, you know, how bad of a person you are. You know, and those same people, they can't admit when they're wrong. They never will. Why do you think they would? What, do you think that they're